fam. Welcome back to the Fee King Show. It is Wednesday. It is Wellness Wednesday. It is Hump Day Wednesday. The Fee King Show is here. I'm your hostess with the mostest, the one and only, your local fitness go-to girl, Fee King. The Fee King Show is all about who are you on a cellular level when you are going through it, when you are achieving all of the things that you set out to achieve, when things don't quite go your way, when you are in a space, when you are mourning the loss of the job, the friendship, the relationship. Who are you? What do you do? What's your why? How in the world are you keeping it all together? I.e., what is your self-care modality? So we will start with myself. Who am I? I am a sister. I am a auntie. I'm a cousin. I'm actually a favorite cousin to my cousin Rosetta Bonner. Rest in peace, Patrice. I am a sister. I'm a daughter. I'm a BFF. I am a, did I say an auntie and a pet parent? Yes, I'm those and those and those and those. I'm an auntie. I'm a pet parent. I'm a fiance. What do I do? I'm so glad you asked. I help women over the age of 40, specifically, yet not exclusively, get physically and fiscally fit AF. So I know what you're thinking. AF, think about it, because it's not what you think it is. Why? Because I love myself so much today that it only makes sense to love my sisters exactly where they are. How am I keeping this thing all together? I.e., what is my self-care modality? Running, reading, transcendental meditation, mindfulness meditation, exercise 6 to 7 days a week, prayer. I mean, I'm in a perpetual state of convening, fellowshipping, networking with God, checking in all day long, not just in the morning, not just at night, all day long. Are y'all ready for the Fee King Show? All right, so I have a guest today, and I think she's having some technological stuff going on, but I am claiming that she is going to pop in here any moment. Any moment now she's going to be here. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is bring something up for my drive, and I didn't download it because proper preparation prevents poor performance, and I'm a little improperly prepared, but that's all right. We're going to get to it. It's going to take me just a moment. Open. Here we go. I think this is it. And so if you have been rocking with the Fee King Show, if you've been rocking with the Fee King Show, let me know where you are tuning in from. Shout out your city, shout out your state, shout out your country, and shout out how long you've been rocking with the Fee King Show. As you know, we're doing a series this month. This month, our series is Purposed in Your Pivot. Pivot means that you've decided that you are going to make a different choice. You are going to take a different road. You're going to go down a different street. You're on a new path. And so you've decided, you know what? I'm going to change direction, change course, shift the way that I do this thing. And what a blessing it is to be able to pivot. Is this your pivot season? Are you in the midst of pivoting? Are you purposed in your pivot season? And so I'm still determined to upload this because it is also, not only is it Wellness Wednesday, but it is Wisdom Wednesday. And so we have our girl Too Tight Tonya Jones coming to the screen. Fee King, next time be properly prepared. My bad. And that is not the one, but I'm going to find it. It's going to take me just a second. I appreciate your patience in advance because we are in Too Tight. I might need to play an older one because we are in August. And so, yes, let's do that. Without further ado, coming to the Fee King Show, my girl, Too Tight Tonya Jones, with a word of wisdom on this Wellness Wednesday, this hump day, this middle of the week. We are getting you through. Also coming up today at 2 o'clock on my Facebook channel, which is at Fee, Feeking, is Wisdom workout and a word with myself and the one and only Senior Minister of Rockland CSL, Rev Melissa. Without further ado, Too Tight, take it away.
What's up, everybody? It is Wisdom Wednesdays with Tonya at the Radical Breath. And this week, I invite you to explore the same question that has been alive for me. How am I not fully living? Say it again. How am I not fully living? And why? So what I have found, especially, it's midlife. There's some assessing, reassessing going on, pivoting, dreams realized, dreams not, plans that went right, plans that went left, and all of that, though there is often a unconscious or sometimes even conscious mindset or belief when you're not engaging in some areas of your life. For me, I realized that one of those beliefs was, it's too late. And I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy for a reset. I don't have energy for a reinvention. And it's too late. Oh, my bus has passed. But you know what? Maybe it looks differently. Maybe that is not true. So I invite you to get still and ask yourself the question, how am I not fully living and why?
I love that so much. I think that is the most recent. I'm not for sure, but let me tell you something. I love that Tonya is inviting us to get still. I don't know if I'm speaking to myself. I don't know if I'm speaking to you. I don't know if you can resonate with this. When I was younger, the thought of being still, the thought of being quiet, the thought of not talking, not moving, not doing, not being all the things literally terrified me. I think the first time I was ever still, I was well into my 30s, and it was during yoga. And I'm in a downward facing dog, and I'm hearing the sound of my own breath. I'm hearing my heart race, and a floodgate of emotions came up. And I'm in this downward facing dog crying. I was like, what the freak is happening? And I realized it was the first time I was still with my own thoughts. And so a lot of the stuff that I got to work on and I got to acknowledge that was still on some level hindering me, I got to address it because it's going to come up. So either it's going to come up in the stillness, or it's going to come up when you are moving, rushing, running around, juggling, multitasking, all of the things all of the time. And listen, I get it. Like Too Tight said, we're in the middle. We're in the middle of our life. I also love that she spoke about reassessing, because there was a time when I coined my midlife crisis as such, a crisis. And now that I look back and I've been able to really look from the outside looking in, I'm able to reframe the crisis for, girl, you simply got to pivot. You simply got to reassess where you were and figure out, not even figure out, but determine for yourself where you want it to be, and know that you have the power, because if you got yourself there, you can get yourself somewhere else. Thank you so much, Too Tight Tonya Jones. And I am thinking about all of the things that I want to be, do, and have, and more experiences I want to have. And let me know if I'm not the only one who wants to experience much more travel, much more travel. One of the things that Bob Proctor talks about, and I want to share this with you because it speaks to our pivot. It is one of my favorite chapters in his book. And he also encourages us to, so Sekou and I are reading this. I'm reading this book to Sekou. I want to say it's his first time, and it is I think now maybe my 13th or 14th. And that's the thing, when you start going down the rabbit hole of self-development, self-improvement, self-awareness, self-reflection, it is not a matter of reading and wanting to get through the book. It is really a matter of taking the information in and savoring it, chewing it slowly, and swallowing even slowly, and then pause, take a sip of water, and then come back to it in the evening, maybe come back to it the next day. Really take your time, do some highlighting, do some underlining. Look at this book, y'all. I've had this book, this was my second purchase. I purchased this one in 2016. One of my favorite chapters is let go and let God. Let go and let God. And I want to share. Can I share some of this with you? Okay, thank you. Make up your mind to read this chapter over and over, 100 times if necessary. He said that and he meant it, and I am going to. Until you feel deep inside that you really comprehend the idea being expressed. For if you fail to grasp the idea presented to you in this chapter, let go and let God, the rest of the book will be of little value to you. However, once you do understand this chapter, it will be as if a tremendous light has gone on in your mind, truly illuminating your life. And you will realize you will never again be the same person you once were. No person, thing, or circumstances will intimidate you ever, 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 ever. And I'm ad-libbing that ever, ever, ever again. He goes on to say, I want to get to the part about the image that you place on the screen of your mind. Ooh, powerful. All right, here we go. A mind saturated with fear or failure or images of unwanted results can no more accomplish, create, or produce anything of value than a stone can violate the law of gravity by flying upwards in the air. Throughout this book, he has a chapter on specifically on imaging. And what he says, it's called The Image Maker. So if you get this book, which I lovingly suggest you purchase this book, get the Audible download. Now, I purchased this book a long time ago. Today it is a pretty penny. I was like, wow, Bob. I mean, it is a pretty shiny penny. This chapter, which is chapter 3, The Image Maker, he says, I want to suggest right at this moment that you read this chapter over a few times. Now, maybe not 100, but a few times. Understand. And I want to reframe that to overstand. Overstand that we are relating this idea to money in this book. But I want you to know that once you fully understand the image making concept, you can effectively use it for whatever good you desire. He talks about placing on the screen of your mind an image of who you want to be, where you want to be, what you want to wear when you arrive, how you want to speak, how you want to feel, even how you want to dress, how you want to engage with other people and what those people look like. And this imaging exercise works. I've done it numerous times, and I find that when I'm uber consistent, all of the things that I want to manifest, I manifest. And here's the thing. We get to trust the process, and we get to be patient. The young lady that I'm going to have on the show maybe at a later time, because I think she's having some challenges. I met her in Houston, Texas. We quickly became BFFs. But let me tell you what happened prior to that, prior to me attracting her. I'm living in Houston. I had been in a relationship. I was actually engaged, and the engagement fell apart because my boyfriend / fiance at the time had an addiction, and he was deep in his addiction. He was addicted to crack cocaine. He was a lovely person, and he had a lot of challenges. And so at some point I got to pivot. I made a decision, this is not the life that I want, and I'm going to release this person, and I'm going to allow myself to be released. So I'm living in Houston. I have no family. His family became my family, friends, we created this whole life together. And I'm in my early 20s. I'm in court reporting school. And I remember one night, I'm on the 3rd floor. I'm living in an apartment complex on the southwest side of Houston. And a storm rolled in. Houston used to have some storms. I'm talking super dark clouds. It would get so dark. It was like nighttime. And I remember looking up because for some reason I found myself being sad about the weather. I would allow the weather to dictate my mood. That had never happened before. And I was like, what is happening? But something would happen when I wasn't exposed to sunlight. So I go down the rabbit hole and I do some research, and there's a condition called sunlight deprivation. A lot of people in what is it? Not Oregon, Seattle. A lot of people in Seattle experience this condition, sunlight deprivation, because they get sad or their mood is affected because there's so many months of rain and storms, and the sky gets dark and they don't get exposed to light, and so it affects their mood. And I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, I was like, ooh, I hope this is just a season because this is not going to work for me. So I'm upstairs, I'm on the balcony, and I'm looking out, and I'm feeling really heavy. And I prayed to God. I said, God, will you please bring me a friend? Like someone who's fun, someone who's interesting, who's nice, who's drama free, and I'm paraphrasing, but I was pretty specific. Of course, I didn't say what I wanted the friend to look like, but I wanted a girlfriend, a homegirl. That very same month, I'm in school, Shirley Baker School of Court Reporting. I'm sitting behind someone that I'd never seen before. I'm going to school at night. And so I don't know if any of you are familiar with court reporting, but you have a machine. It's called a stenography machine, and you have a tray where your paper is. And so your paper is long, like this long, and it folds back and forth, back and forth. And they teach you how to put the paper in the tray so that when you're taking down stenography, it folds very nicely into your tray. Well, I was a hot mess this day, kind of like I am right now. I'm just sweating all over the place, just spitzing. I'm sorry, ladies don't sweat, they spitz. So I'm spitzing all over the place. Papers falling all on the ground, making noise. And one of the things with court reporting is you need to focus because it requires your fingers to move really, really fast. And this girl turns around. She doesn't even look at me. She looks at my tray and she was like, girl, do you need some help? Just a lot of sass, a lot of attitude. But she had a smile on her face and she was so pretty, like this beautiful, rich chocolate skin. And I knew, sometimes you just know. And literally, our friendship started in that moment, in that room, when she turned around and looked at me like, girl, you need to get it together. You need to work on your situation because you are a hot mess in here. And so her name is Rona. Rona and I have been thick as thieves from afar and up close and personal when I lived in Houston. And Rona could tell you from her own mouth that the one thing that we did a lot of in that hot Houston humidity was work out. She was like, girl, you're the only person who's been able to get me to go outside in this hot heat and exercise. Like, who does that? And she always thought I was crazy. She was like, why are we not going to the gym? And I was like, but it's so beautiful outside and we get to sweat. She's like, girl, I don't like to sweat. That is my girl. So I look forward to being able to share her with you and share her story with you because she's had, like many of us, many moments of pivoting. I think when you are in the middle of your life, when you've reached mid-age, which is such an amazing, dope, incredible time of life, to have this blank canvas that we get to draw upon, where we get to say, you know what? I'm calling the shots. I'm dictating the life that I want. I'm living life on my terms, unapologetically, out loud, boldly, courageously. Even when I do feel fear, I can still feel fear and do it anyway. Because what I get to do is exhibit courage in the face of fear. I get to be courageous while I meet fear head on because it is a real emotion. And for those of us who are using these cute creative acronyms, what is it? Fear is something isn't real. I forget the acronym, but it is. It is a real feeling. It is a real emotion. And you get to be courageous in the face of fear. So I'm looking forward to that. And I want to know from you, if you are listening, if you are watching, type it in the comment section. Are you in your pivot season? Do you know what your pivot looks like? And then what has happened for you and to you to bring you to your pivot season? What has happened to you and for you to bring you to your pivot season? I've had many myself, and I'm in my new pivot season because I've decided to reframe, rebrand, reintroduce myself, and do business differently. And one of those things that I'm doing differently is I'm spending a lot more time. I'm spending a lot more time and money investing in my self development so that I can get a different result. One tends to pivot because something has happened in their personal life, their professional life, their spiritual life, emotional, mental life, or all areas. And they're not happy with the result that they're getting. I've not been happy with the result that I've been getting. And so I said, I realized, you know what? A closed mouth don't get fed. And the definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. And sometimes that same thing is continuing to attract and appeal to the same audience. And when I say audience, I mean customers, clients, followers, your database of people. So those could be those on social media. Those could be the ones that you are going to networking events, having conversations with. Those are the people who can't can't quite or aren't willing. Yes, yes, who are not willing to pay you your worth. And then sometimes we blame them, and it's not their fault because you keep meeting people where they are versus helping people to rise to where you are. I had a personal training friend back in the day. He was a celebrity trainer. He was on one of those shows. It was on VH1. It was kind of like My Biggest Loser, something like that. And so he and I trained out of the same gym. And I remember him saying to me, and I don't remember the context, but we were having a conversation. He was starting a blog talk radio show, right? Is that what they used to call it? It was it was kind of like what we're doing now, podcast, but it wasn't quite that. And he asked me to be his co-host. And so we're having this conversation. And I think I was doing some business on the side, like maybe either communicating with a client or potential client, something like that. And he said to me, he said, Fee, never let your clients and your customers' financial situation become your problem. Whatever's going on with them, that is not your problem. Whatever they can't afford or aren't willing to afford, don't make that your problem. And when he said that, at the time, I'll be honest, it didn't quite resonate with me because one of my, it's not a downfall, it's a personality defect. And one of my personality defects is wanting to be kind and nice and adjust who I am and what I do for the comfort of other people. That is a personality defect for me only because it's not working for me, right? So you get to decide what is and what is not working for you. And if you are willing and ready to pivot, or maybe you're already in your pivot season and Fee King just helped you to better identify it. So Sekou writes, my fiance says pivot, motivational speeches. Yes, I could talk. Well, we're going to be talking all month, whether I'm sharing with you or whether I'm interviewing someone who's sharing when they were able to identify their pivot season. Private chat. Oh, there's a private chat. So I'm just realizing there's like this private chat feature. I didn't even know. All right, so let's wrap this thing up and let us get into a couple announcements. And part of my pivot is I get to wear all the hats, realizing, yes, that too is cute, but that is not going to work for the end result that I want for my life, which means I get to collaborate. I get to create partnerships. I get to expand. I get to train people to do what I do so that I can focus more on the business and the building of the business versus working inside of my business, because it limits you. There's only so many hours in the day, right? Shout out to my entrepreneurs. Shout out to my solopreneurs. Shout out to those who are side hustling. I like to call it the PPPP plan, properly placing it in God's hands, planning and properly placing it in God's hands. That is my PPP loan. And so, a couple announcements before we get up out of here. I want to thank my sponsors, Her Glow Candy Shop, for keeping me glowing in these New York City streets. I'll be glowing in these Maryland, Baltimore, DC, Virginia streets. Tomorrow, I get to facilitate a couple wood tool therapy workshops. Those are my Body Beautiful wood tool therapy workshops. It's going to be in person, hosted in Severna Park, and then in Frederick, Maryland. And we're going to do some live. So if you're interested and you don't live in Maryland, you'd like to join us, you'd like to learn more about the benefits of wood tool therapy for cellulite, lymphatic drain, pushing out toxins, blasting belly fat, back fat, helping smooth out cellulite. And it's just therapeutic and so relaxing. It is so yummy, delicious, and amazing. And I'm grateful that I said yes to adding that to Fee King Holdings LLC offerings. I went all around the world with that one. Thank you, Her Glow Candy Shop. Thank you, Ife, Black owned, woman owned. Thank you also so much, Sekou Wrights, Get Rich 101, for sponsoring the arm of the Fee King Show in my group. There are Black people in Omaha, and I have a mug to prove it. Mm-hmm. There are. Yes, I was there. Born and raised, O-N-E, Midwest girl. Thank you so much. Thank you also for your soul publishing, Bobby Tamir, for lacing me with dope beats. Indie producer. He's out of St. Croix. He is an American. He is amazing. He is passionate about music, especially the indie artists. And I have a feeling that Bobby and I are going to do some other things together, because I'm feeling musical, y'all. And let me tell you what Too Tight Tonya Jones said of the Wisdom Wednesday. She said, "Are you not living your life? Like, are you not living? Are you simply existing? Are you waking up, making breakfast, going to work, coming home, watching TV?" And if that is your definition of living life, that's great. If it's not, just know that there's so much more in you. There's so much more that you have access to. You simply need to get still, get quiet, and ask the right questions. More importantly, be ready to receive a solution. Thank you so much, Rev Melissa. We get to do a workout in a word every Wednesday, which is today at 2 o'clock. September, we are going to move a workout in a word to the morning, because we realize that 2 o'clock is a challenge for everyone, including us. So we will be bringing workout and a word in September earlier in the morning on Wednesday. Follow I Am Rev Melissa so that she can lace you with SIP, Spirit in Practice. And then who else? Oh, we have one more quick announcement. This is going down next week. Sekou Wrights, my fiance, Get Rich 101, will be teaching his 5 pillars of success to building wealth from where you are. So join today. It's only $30. And I just found out today that he's doing 2 courses live. It's not going to be live on the platform, but he's going to teach it live for $30. That means it's $15 per class. And I was like, you know what? That's just free. He's so talented. He's so passionate about this work. And if you're anything like me, and like Too Tight Tonya Jones said, sometimes you do think it's too late. I'm too old. I missed the boat. And cut that out. It is simply not the truth. You get to start where you are. You get to start over, and you get to start again. This is the Fee King Show. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Fee King, your local fitness go-to girl. I will see you, God willing, Friday with On the Road Again with my girl, Too Tight Tonya Jones. That is our travel segment. I bid you love, light, peace, prosperity, possibility, positivity, not just for today, not even just for the rest of this week or the rest of 2023, but for your entire life condition. I'm out.